Hello. Today we are gonna talk about the new Kid Cudi and Kanye West album. Together, Kid Cudi, Kanye West have become kids see ghosts because kids see ghosts sometimes. Kanye West and Kid Cudi have worked together. They've got a long storied relationship, kind of like Kanye West and Jay-Z. And since Kid Cudi emerged on the scene in 2008, he's sort of been a little brother to Kanye West. Kid Cudi was instrumental in the sound and feel of Kanye West's 808 and Heartbreaks album, a very seminal work in hip hop. We see a lot of the repercussions of that very spacey, eerie, emotional rap sort of playing out now, and Kid Cudi co-wrote a lot of those tracks. Following that, we got Kid Cudi's solo album, Man on the Moon, another enormously influential album, pretty much formed the psychedelic hip-hop genre. Kid Cudi sort of emerged in 2008 on his mixtape, A Kid Named Cudi, and then Kanye West discovered him, and he basically brought him in as a co-writer and producer. And a lot of times, like since then, there's not been a single Kanye West album that Kid Cudi hasn't appeared on or made some sort of production on or written some lyrics for. So this collaboration's been going for a while. They've got great chemistry together, and this is the first time the fans have been given a full-length project between Kanye West and Kid Cudi. It's very good in terms of their sort of synergy on this album. They both produce and write the songs here, so it has a very interesting psychedelic feel. I'm glad it wasn't going in the trap direction that everyone's going in and that some Kanye West albums have strayed into at times. This feels like Kid Cudi is the star of this album, and it's very much in his wheelhouse. There's a lot of psychedelic influences here. It's a rock sound. There's strong guitars. There's interesting percussion. It feels like a comeback for Kid Cudi, and he needed Kanye West at this stage of his career because his last two albums were absolutely enormous, bloated messes. Speeding Bullet to Heaven was shit. It was shit. And the one last a couple of years ago, Passion, Pain and Demon Slaying, it was 18 minutes long. There was just loads of hums on it. It was just and he's like the king of the hum, he calls himself now. And yeah, it's nice to hear people hum and like make it interesting. He does do it alright sometimes, but a whole album of it, a whole hour and a half of just Kid Cudi just humming and sort of just experimenting. And it was just, if anyone needs Kanye West to be like, right, we're going to do this whole 7 songs thing again, we need this for Kid Cudi. It really sort of diluted the formula back to what we've sort of hoped for a long time. I've heard a Kid Cudi album this good since Man on the Moon, maybe, his first one, or even Indie, which I sort of like. A lot of people don't really like it. It was also bloated as well, but we needed this from Cudi to sort of get back to what made him an interesting artist in the first place. I'm always going to be a Kid Cudi fan. I've been slagging him off for about 10 years now, and he's let me down so many times, but I'll always be there. I'll always be a fan of him because of the influence he had. I mean, if you look at rappers like Travis Scott, I mean, Scott Mescudi, Travis Scott, he took his name from Kid Cudi. Lil Uzi Vert's been influenced by him. Just this whole wave of emotional rap with like emo influence and that. You can find that all from Kid Cudi. It's interesting to hear Kanye West take a bit of a back seat lyrically on this album as well. And normally I'd say I'd rather hear a bit more Kanye, but we got a Kanye West album last week, so I'm okay with that. This feels very much Cudi led. Cudi's at the forefront. They've had their riffs and they've both had drug addictions and they've both had problems with mental illness that they've been open about. And the main theme of this album is triumph. It feels like they've overcome these demons. And even though his last album was called Passion, Pain and Demon Slaying, Kid Cudi, he's still got these demons. He's still got some stuff to talk about. And it feels a lot more triumphant than that last album from Cudi, which was quite dark in a lot of places. This feels very triumphant, very much like a return to them being happy again. I mean, if you look at the track list, I mean, there's I'm Free. So, like the last two good music albums that came out in the last couple of weeks, this album, again, 7 songs long, runs to about 23 minutes. Some of the tracks are a bit shorter, some of them are a couple minutes long. Reborn's 5 minutes, and that is a great song. That is the centerpiece of the album, in my opinion. It's a brilliantly triumphant. And Reborn has great sort of harmonizing from Kid Cudi throughout. He takes the hook. The hook it's the foundation of the song. It's repeated a lot. You just hear Cudi going, "I'm reborn," and it just goes throughout the song, and it gives it this sort of uplifting feel to it. And the outro is really nice. It's about a couple of minutes of just them just harmonizing together, and you hear Kid Cudi's sort of like vocals overlaid as well, so he's harmonizing himself, and it really works well. This is definitely the centerpiece of the album, in my opinion, and it just shows the chemistry that Cudi and West have together. It's brilliant, and there's just so many great moments in this album. Free is another great song. I mean, that is another one where they're just talking about being free of the sort of the demons and coming back stronger than ever. And another great song. It's also pretty apt that the group's called Kids See Ghosts, because we get an appearance from Mr. Hudson on the last song. He does a nice little outro to it, and it's really nice. And I forgot he even existed, actually. Every time I look at Kanye West's liner notes on his albums, I just see little Mr. Hudson features. He's there, he's like adding little bits. He's just trapped in this good music development hell. Apparently his third album's going to come out any day now, but it's been 9 years. 9 years Kanye West has just been leeching out his ideas. Just every time Mr. Hudson's probably in the studio working his stuff, West is just like, nope, get up to me, and he's just ripping him, just bleeding him dry with his creativity. Mr. Hudson's 38 now. No one's cared about him since 2009, and you could argue people didn't care about him back then. And here he is, just singing the outro on this album, and yeah, I don't know, we're not going to hear of him again until we get a new Kanye West album. There were also some spotty moments on Kids See Ghosts. Field of Love, the opening track, has got it starts with a nice Pusha T verse, and then Kanye just spends about a minute doing this designer impression, just doing machine gun noises and all that. And it just feels like that Shoop Diddy Whoop song, which, in my opinion, there was a good song in there, Trying to Get Out. There was a good beat on Shoop Diddy Whoop, or Love Yourself, or whatever it's called. And it was just ruined by him just like going boop, 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 boop. And again, that's what we get at the start of the album. We just hear just a minute of Kanye West just making gun sounds, and it's just pointless. And he's got some, for the most part, his like verses are quite decent, but he's definitely the weaker member of the group based on this project. And also sometimes Kid Cudi can sort of do a bit too much of the humming stuff and a bit too much just you know, that sort of stuff that he does on his longer albums, where you just think, come on, let's just rap here, or just do a song, like do some singing, rather than just making weird noises. I love the psychedelic feel of Kids See Ghosts. Like I said before, they could have gone in that very trendy trap direction, but it wouldn't really be what Kid Cudi's about, and that is at the forefront here. And it's just very psychedelic. There's quite good minimal beats, strong guitars, and that's what we want to hear from Kid Cudi. We want to hear him in his element, and it feels like Kanye West and him together are bringing it out at the best for both of them. And I'm looking forward to the next good music release. I mean, so far, I've had Pusha T's album, which was very good. The Kanye West album, I really enjoyed that as well. And Kids See Ghosts, again, another good album. It's very quick. You can't really get time to appreciate them as much as you would if you had a few months to wait for the next Kanye West release. But because they're all about 23 minutes long, these good music releases, they're quite easy to revisit. And I'm looking forward to Nas next week. Actually, this Friday. This is it. Nas, a whole album of him over Kanye West beats. I think it's going to be brilliant. What I've loved about all these good music albums so far is that Kanye's really tailored the beats to the artist that he's working with. So we've not heard anything really recycled from other projects. And I think this Nas one's going to really be some soulful, old school Kanye. But to conclude, Kids See Ghosts, good album, very much enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to hearing what Kanye West is going to do next.